Now we are beginning with reaction kinetics. Now see, as far as any procedure is concerned, when you are converting your drug into dosage form and when you are administering that dosage form, from right from the administration of that dosage form to the systemic bioavailability, followed by the actual effect of your drug on your body. So everything, every process, right from the consumption to the utilization, every step undergoes systematic changes with respect to time. So when it comes about these changes, you are going to count these transformations, you are going to count these changes, that how it actually takes place. So whenever you are having a dosage form and that dosage form undergoes systemic changes, की तो ड्रग ज्या डोसेज फॉर्म मध्ये तुम्ही कन्वर्ट केलाय आणि तो डोसेज फॉर्म तुम्ही कंझ्युम केलाय, सो जेव्हा तुम्ही तो डोसेज फॉर्म कंझ्युम केलाय आणि त्या डोसेज फॉर्म पासून तुम्हाला तुमचा इफेक्ट मिळतोय, सो this is the complete process that will take place with respect to time. So right from the manufacture to the consumption, okay, right from manufacturing to the consumption, you were saying that the quality of any product is maintained by means of its virtue to hold its characteristic for the duration, or you can say that for the extended duration, की जेवढ्या वेळासाठी तुम्ही त्याला स्टोअर करणार आहात, म्हणजे मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग पासून कन्झम्पशन पर्यंत जो वेळ तुमचा युटिलाइज होणार आहे, त्या वेळामध्ये देखील तुमच्या डोसेज फॉर्मने त्याच्या ज्या ऍक्च्युअल कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक आहेत त्या मेंटेन ठेवणं गरजेचं आहे. अँड वी आर रेफरिंग इट ॲज ए ड्रग स्टॅबिलिटी. सो ऑब्वियसली when you are focusing on the drug stability, you are focusing on the things that are actually happening within your system. For the sake dosage form, we will discuss about dosage form as a system. So every individual step that is used in order to perform any kind of operation, that is nothing but your reaction kinetic. Whatever speed that has been taken, whatever the transformations that has been taken in order to convert your reactant into its product, so this is the process where your reactant is going to convert into your product by means of systemic chemical convergence, that is nothing but your chemical kinetic. So तुमच्याकडे, in case of your medicinal chemistry, you might have studied that you are having a kind of reactant and you are going to produce derivative from it, right? So whatever reactant you are having, whatever product you are producing, so every single transformation taking place, every single mechanism involved in that reaction will contribute toward formation of a product from the reactant. So meanwhile, there are the chances to generate a substrate that will serve as the basis for the further steps involved or further mechanisms involved in your chemical reaction. So the time wise changes, की जसं जसं वेळ जाणार आहे, तो वेळ जात असताना जे पण चेंजेस तुमच्या त्या सिस्टीम मध्ये, तुमच्या त्या रिएक्शन मध्ये घडून येणार असतील, हे टाइम वाईज चेंजेस जेव्हा तुम्ही स्टडी करतात, या टाइम वाईज चेंजेसला तुम्ही काय म्हणतात, रिएक्शन कायनेटिक्स. सो जे चेंजेस घडून येणार आहेत, मग ते तुमचे पूर्ण मेकॅनिझम असू देत किंवा तुमच्या त्या एलिमेंटरी स्टेप मध्ये असू देत, मग ह्या ज्या एलिमेंटरी स्टेप्स पासून जो रिएक्टंट आणि जो प्रोडक्ट तुमचा जनरेट होणार आहे, मग तो एक ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन स्टेप वाईज असू देत, एक ती सिंगल रिएक्शन असू देत, किंवा विदिन शॉर्ट पिरियड ऑफ टाइम तुम्हाला त्या रिएक्टंट पासून प्रोडक्ट मिळत असू देत. सो एव्हरी स्टेप, every process having impact of time, and that particular step is performed with a particular speed or velocity, that will be the basis for the study of kinetics, or we can say that study of reaction kinetics. So moreover, there are various factors that are being having impact on the process. So temperature is there, incorporation of third substance is there, whatever kind of reactant you are having, that reactant undergoing interaction with one another. So either you are having two reactants or you are having 3 reactants, or you are dealing with multiple reactants. If you are dealing with multiple reactants, then moreover chances are what, की जर मल्टिपल रिएक्टंट तुमच्याकडे असतील तर सुरुवातीला कुठले तरी 2 रिएक्ट होत असतील, त्याच्यापासून तुम्हाला एक इंटरमिडिएट प्रोडक्ट मिळत असेल, त्या इंटरमिडिएट प्रोडक्ट बरोबर तुमचा नंतरचा कुठला तरी रिएक्टंट वर्क करत असेल, म्हणजे ही एक चेन ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन पण असू शकते, तुमची रिव्हर्सिबल किंवा इरिव्हर्सिबल रिएक्शन असू शकते. एक स्टेप जी पहिली स्टेप असेल ती तिसऱ्या स्टेपसाठी युटिलाइज होत असेल आणि तिसरी स्टेप मग तुम्हाला प्रोडक्ट देत असेल, म्हणजे हे पण जे पण काही चेंजेस घडत असतील आणि त्या चेंजेसचा तुमची ती जी रेट प्रोसेस आहे, तुमची जी रिएक्शन आहे, ती रिएक्शन मध्ये रिएक्टंट पासून प्रोडक्ट मिळण्यासाठी जे पण ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन घडून आणण्यासाठी त्या स्टेप्स गरजेच्या असतील, तर ऑब्व्हियसली त्याचं तुम्हाला कन्सर्न करावं लागेल आणि तो कन्सर्न तुम्हाला काय करत असणार आहे, इन ऑर्डर टू हॅव इफेक्ट फ्रॉम दॅट डोसेज फॉर्म. की ड्रग पासून डोसेज फॉर्म आम्ही मिळवला, पण त्या डोसेज फॉर्म पासून परत आमच्या बॉडीमध्ये आम्हाला ड्रग रिलीज झाला पाहिजे आणि त्या ड्रगने त्याचा इफेक्ट मिळाला पाहिजे. सो ऑब्व्हियसली whatever kind of reactions that are actually happening with your body, so when you are focusing on this kind of reaction, then moreover you are categorizing these reactions into 2 types, either as a equilibrium reaction or the spontaneous reaction. For example, suppose I am having a tablet dosage form, I am consuming it. Suppose I am suffering from the fever, I need to consume paracetamol as an antipyretic medicine. So in order to consume that antipyretic medicine, I am formulating that drug into particular dosage form. So once I am formulating that drug into dosage form and I am consuming it, the target is what? I am expecting effect of that drug. So it is important that that dosage form should relieve that drug into systemic circulation. So absorption, distribution, metabolism and excretion are the factors that you need to focus on. But the process will begin with compatibility and incompatibility, whether your reactants are compatible with one another or not. Next is, suppose they are compatible, you are formulating that into particular form. Suppose the tablet is the one as I was discussing. So when you are consuming that tablet, it is important that that tablet will undergo disintegration and dissolution. So again, you are having some kind of steps. Disintegration will deal with breakdown into smaller particle. Every smaller particle will undergo the process of dissolution, that it gets converted into its molecular solution. So solid form is being transformed into liquid form. So dissolution is the one. Now suppose by means of dissolution you are having drug in its dissolved state. Okay, solid drug is now being converted into liquid step. So जो dissolved form मध्ये तुम्हाला जो ड्रग मिळालेला आहे, जो मॉलिक्युलर सोल्युशन मध्ये ड्रग तुमचा प्रेझेंट आहे, तो ड्रग आता काय होणार आहे, absorb होणार आहे. So you are having rate of absorption at that point of time. Now that absorbed drug will give you bioavailability, correct? Maximum amount of drug that reaches to systemic circulation. So once you are having bioavailability, you are focusing on distribution followed by excretion. So pharmacokinetic is again a kind of reaction that is having several steps involved in it. Then from that you are going to deal with pharmacodynamics, how you are experiencing effect of that drug. So drug action is there. Again, it is a rate process. Initially, that paracetamol, that antipyretic medicine will give you small amount of effect. Okay, you are trying to deal with that problem, the causative pathogen, right, your pyrogen. Then along with further doses you will have maximum amount of effect and at the end you will get rid of that pyresis. So as an antipyretic medicine, that paracetamol, right from consumption, or we can say that instead of consumption, right from manufacturing to the action, that paracetamol undergoes several kind of processes. So if you are focusing on it, you can classify that, or you can summarize these reactions into 2 types. The first one is equilibrium reaction and second one is your spontaneous reaction. Now what is meant by equilibrium reaction? Now suppose in the case of equilibrium reaction, you are having reaction where two kind of reactions are proceeding. Okay, both are equal in nature, but the difference is they are proceeding in opposite directions. So from A to D, if you need to convert A to B, B to C, C to D, okay, and in order to convert A to D, you are required to have B and C in your hand. But in order to produce B from A is traveling in one direction, and in order to produce B to C, C from B, that is again happening in the different direction. So when you are dealing with this kind of things, you are referring them as the equilibrium reaction. Okay, so both are traveling into the different direction. Suppose I am having one reaction A to be converted into D. Okay, I want to convert A into D. But if I'm having another reaction that is dealing with D to be converted into Z, so what is actually happening is A to D is traveling from left to right, and D to Z, okay, is traveling from right to left. Okay, so if you are having these two reaction, one is moving in this direction and second is moving in the opposite direction, so the rate by which they are vibrating, the rate by which they are responsible to produce your product is same. Okay, so whatever kind of product you are having, that is not going to change with respect to time. So whatever concentration of reactant you are having is independent on time. Reaction is proceeding in its own mechanism. की ए पासून डी मिळत असताना किंवा डी पासून झेड मिळत असताना ज्या रिस्पेक्टिव्ह स्टेप्स आहेत त्या रिस्पेक्टिव्ह स्टेप त्यांच्या त्यांच्या पद्धतीने होत राहतील, पण त्यांची जी स्पीड आहे, त्यांची जी वेलोसिटी ती वेगळी वेगळी असेल. त्याला तुम्ही काय म्हटलात? इक्विलिब्रियम रिएक्शन. मीन्स यू आर हॅव्हिंग टू अपोजिट रिएक्शन्स, but both reactions are happening at the equal interval. Okay, and the second one is your spontaneous reaction. Means your A will give you D, and this D will get converted to the Z. Means from reactant you will have product. Okay, means these are the continuous steps from left to right. Your reactant will get converted into a particular kind of product, but that is not your final product whatever you are expecting. लक्षात येतंय की ए पासून मला जर झेड बनवायचं असेल आणि मध्ये डी मला प्रोड्यूस करावं लागत असेल, का तर तो झेड प्रोड्यूस करण्यासाठी गरजेचं काय आहे, डी माझ्याकडे असायला हवा. पण मला ए पासून जर झेड बनवायचा आहे तर मला हा विचार करावा लागेल की तो झेड प्रोड्यूस करण्यासाठी मला डी हवा असणं गरजेचं आहे, पण माझ्याकडे डी रिएक्टंट नाहीये. So I need to produce D from available reactants. Are you getting what I am saying? What is this? की माझ्याकडे समजा A रिएक्टंट आहे आणि मला बनवायचा आहे Z. ओके, सो माझ्याकडे A, B, C आहेत. त्या ABC पासून मला Z बनवायचा आहे, पण ABC पासून Z ऍज सच बनत नाही. Z बनवण्यासाठी मला कशाची गरज आहे? I need D. Okay, but I am sure that by using A, B and C I can produce D. Okay, by using A, B, C I can produce D. So in order to produce Z, what I will deal with, I am going to convert A into D first, and then this D will get converted into Z by means of several kind of steps and events. So ultimately I can produce Z from A. This is called as spontaneous reaction, right? So there are two kinds of reactions, equilibrium reaction and second one is spontaneous reaction. Okay, now in order to deal with this reaction kinetics, you will experience various kinds of terminologies like chemical kinetics, rate of reaction, order of reaction, molecularity of reaction, specific rate, constant. Okay, now we will discuss about these terminologies one by one. The first one is chemical kinetics. Now, as I said earlier, this is the complete process that gives you formation of product from the reactant. So as you are formulating product from reactant, at that point of time, you are dealing with various kinds of steps and events encountered, and at that point of time there are various factors which are having influence on that reaction. So the speed, the velocity by which your reaction proceeds. Okay, so chemical kinetics is what? It is the branch of chemistry that deals with study of rate of reaction. So whenever you are observing the rate of reaction, the speed, the velocity by which your reaction proceeds, then you are saying that you are studying about chemical kinetics. So moreover, when you are observing rate of reaction, when you are dealing with rate of reaction, then obviously you are focusing on the chemical kinetics, as it is the branch that deals with study of rate of reaction. So what is important? You need to understand what is meant by rate of reaction. Now see, when we use that word rate, yes, anybody? At what time we are going to refer anything as the rate? कशाचं कशासोबत रिलेशन असलं पाहिजे की आपण रेट म्हणून टर्मिनॉलॉजी तिथं वापरू शकतो?
Sir, time taken for reaction.
Correct. Whenever you are observing that transformation with respect to time, then you are referring them as the rate. For example, your bike, you are using bike and that bike is supposed to cross 60-kilometer distance within 1 hour. Okay, then you are saying that the rate by which that bike is moving is 60 km per hour, that within that 1 hour, within that 60 minutes, that bike is supposed to cover 60-kilometer distance. So you are saying that it is traveling by this particular rate. In the same way, as you are discussing about rate of reaction, the transformations, the changes that are occurring in your reactant with respect to time is nothing but your rate of reaction. So change in concentration with respect to time is your rate of reaction, that is plus minus dc upon dt. So dc is what? Concentration, and t is what? Time. So change in concentration with respect to time, dc by dt, will give you rate of reaction. So suppose I am having concentration C, if I am producing B from A. Okay, now I am having X quantity of A, for example X gram of A, and this X gram will produce Y gram of B. So in order to produce Y from X, this X will undergo decline step and this Y will undergo incline step, right? की ही रिएक्शन घडून येण्यासाठी ए जसा जसा कमी होत जाणार तसा तसा तुमचा बी तुम्हाला मिळत जाणार, म्हणजे एक्स ची क्वांटिटी कमी होत जाणार आणि वाय ची क्वांटिटी ऑटोमॅटिकली तुमची वाढत जाणार. मग अशा वेळी ह्या ए चं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन टाइम वाईज जे जे किंवा ज्या ज्या पद्धतीने कमी होत चालतंय, that is nothing but your rate of reaction, that change in concentration with respect to time. So what we are dealing with? Suppose we are dealing with A. Okay, so suppose instead of C I am writing A, that change in concentration of A with respect to time t means A चं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन जसं जसं वेळ जाणार तसं तसं कमी होत चाललंय, म्हणजे त्याच्या पुढे तुम्हाला काय द्यावं लागणार आहे? You will deal with decline represented by minus symbol. So how you are going to reflect your rate of reaction? By the means of negative sign in front of your rate of reaction, that is A is continuously being converted into B with respect to time t. सो मायनस dA अपॉन dt, म्हणजे A चं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू टाइम काय होत चाललंय, कमी होत चाललंय. सो सिमिलरली सपोज यू आर कन्वर्टिंग A into B and you are saying that B is being formed with respect to time t. Okay, now here you are dealing with formation. So what kind of symbol or what kind of sign you are experiencing or you are expecting? Minus or plus? Yes. In order to transform A to B, A चं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन कमी होत असताना तुम्ही निगेटिव्ह साईन देताय. जर B चं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन वाढतंय तर काय एक्सपेक्ट करता तुम्ही, काय अंदाज आहे तुमचा की कुठल्या प्रकारचा सिम्बॉल तिथे असू शकतो?
Positive.
Correct. You are dealing with plus sign. Okay, so when you are dealing with decrease in concentration, you are dealing with negative sign. When you are dealing with increase in concentration, you are dealing with positive sign. Okay, so that is nothing but your rate of reaction, which is given as change in concentration with respect to time. Okay, I am repeating over here. If you are having change in concentration, that is dc upon dt, okay, the change in concentration is decrease in concentration, then you are indicating negative symbol, that is it indicates fall down. Suppose you are dealing with change in concentration deals with formation, means dc formed with respect to time, then you are giving positive symbol. Correct. So negative and positive deals with, negative deals with fall down and positive deals with formation. This is your rate of reaction. So how that rate of reaction actually takes place? At that point of time, you need to focus on law of mass action. You might have studied in your 11th and 12th the law of mass action given by Guldberg and Weg. What they indicates? They indicates that rate of chemical reaction is directly proportional to the active masses of reacting substance. What is that? Rate of chemical reaction, the speed by which that transformation takes place, either breakdown or formation. बरोबर. A चं B मध्ये कन्वर्जन होत असताना A चं ब्रेकडाऊन आणि B चं फॉर्मेशन. सो वॉट एव्हर काइंड ऑफ केमिकल रिएक्शन, so the rate of chemical reaction is directly proportional to active mass of the reacting substance. की तुमचे जे कंपोनंट आहे A किती प्रपोर्शन मध्ये आहे, B किती प्रपोर्शन मध्ये फॉर्म होणार आहे. म्हणजे काय झालं, B चं फॉर्मेशन कशावर डिपेंडंट झालं, A वरती. बरोबर. समजा तुम्हाला चहा बनवायचा आहे, एक साधा एक्झाम्पल मी तुम्हाला सांगतो. तुम्हाला चहा बनवायचा आहे, ते चहा बनवण्यासाठी तुम्ही 1 कप पाणी घेतलं, 1 कप दूध घेतलं, 2 चमचे साखर, अर्धा चमचा चहा पावडर तुम्ही घेतली. मग याच्यापासून तुमचं एक चहाचं मिश्रण बनणार आहे. दुसऱ्या बाजूला तुम्ही काय केलं, 1 कप पाण्याऐवजी 2 कप पाणी घेतलं आणि 2 कप दूध घेतलं आणि त्याच प्रपोर्शन मध्ये काय केलं तुम्ही, परत साखर वाढवली किंवा कमी केली. मग समजा आता मला सुरुवातीला 1 कप पाणी आणि 1 कप दूध होतं आणि त्याच्यामध्ये मी 2 चमचे साखर टाकली आणि दुसऱ्या बाजूला 2 कप पाणी आणि 2 कप दूध आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये पण 2च कप साखर टाकली, 2च चमचे साखर टाकली, तर गोडवा कुठल्या पद्धतीने येणार आहे, पहिल्या पद्धतीत की दुसऱ्या पद्धतीत? बरोबर. की फर्स्ट स्टेप मध्ये तुम्ही काय करणार आहेत, तुमच्याकडे 2 कप आहे पाणी आणि दूध, त्याच्यामध्ये 2 चमचे साखर, पण दुसऱ्या केस मध्ये तुमच्याकडे 4 कप आहेत, 2 कप दूध, 2 कप पाणी, पण साखर तेवढीच आहे. म्हणजे ऑब्विसली तो जो गोडवा आहे तो कमी साखरेमुळे तुमच्या दुसऱ्या मिश्रणामध्ये तुमचा येणार नाही. सो इट कम्प्लिटली डिपेंडंट ऑन ऍक्टिव्ह मास ऑफ शुगर. What kind of sweetness you are expecting, that is completely depend on active mass of the sugar. Same here, that any kind of rate of chemical reaction, if you are focusing on that chemical reaction, then obviously the change in concentration is proportional to the active mass of reacting substance. Or you can say that it is proportional to the molar concentration of reactant raised to power equal to number of molecules. Okay, in order to understand this one, let me give you one example. XA plus YB, when you are mixing A and B, you will get product. Okay, so suppose you are using X proportion of A and you are using Y proportion of B. एक पर्टिक्युलर क्वांटिटी मध्ये ए घेतला, एक पर्टिक्युलर क्वांटिटी मध्ये मी बी घेतला. सो व्हेन आय एम मिक्सिंग ए अँड बी, आय विल हॅव प्रोडक्ट. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस वन, what is rate of chemical reaction? The rate of chemical reaction is power to the concentration. म्हणजे A चं concentration, power of A is x. Why? Because you are using x quantity of A and B power of y, then you are saying that you are using y quantity of B. So what is that rate of reaction? Rate of reaction says that it is the proportional to the product of molar concentration of reactant each raised to power equal to number of molecules. कि किती A molecules आहेत किंवा किती B molecules आहेत याची पॉवर जर तुम्ही कन्सिडर केला ॲज अ कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन, लक्षात येत आहे, A raised to x and B raised to y. हा A raised to x आणि B raised to y जेवढं तुम्ही फोकस करणार तेवढं तुमचं रेट ऑफ केमिकल रिएक्शन चेंज होत चालणार. and this change in rate of chemical reaction is accompanied by proportionality constant K called as rate constant, and this is the equation 1 which is known as rate law or rate equation. What is that? The rate of chemical reaction is directly proportional to the active mass of reacting substance. की जेवढं रिएक्टिंग सबस्टन्स तुमचा जास्त तेवढं काय होणार, प्रोडक्ट तुम्हाला जास्त मिळणार. आणि रेट ऑफ केमिकल रिएक्शन पण त्याच पद्धतीने होणार की टाइम डिपेंडंट जे चेंजेस आहे ते पण कमी मास असेल तर लवकर रिएक्शन होणार, जास्त मास असेल तर जास्त वेळ लागणार. दॅट इज क्वाइट ऑब्वियस. सो टाइम डिपेंडंट जे चेंज इन कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन आहे ते कम्प्लिटली डिपेंड करतंय किती मास तुम्ही वापरताय, किती कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन तुम्ही वापरताय. आणि मग हेच जर आम्हाला लॉ ऑफ मास ऍक्शन जर अप्लाय करायचं असेल तर लॉ ऑफ मास ऍक्शन सांगतं that when you are dealing with change in concentration, then you can refer that as the power equal to the number of molecules that are actually involved in your reaction. म्हणजे A आणि B मिळून जर मला C बनवायचं असेल, A आणि B पासून जर मला प्रोडक्ट बनवायचं असेल, X मोल A आहे, Y मोल B आहे, तर X आणि Y हे जे मोल्स आहेत ते काय होणार, that will become a power concentration. So A raised to X and B raised to Y, and that is completely the sum, sorry, the product of this reactant species give you the final product that is dependent on or that is directly proportional to rate of reaction. Okay, the next is order of reaction. Okay, that what kind of reaction you are developing, what kind of reaction you are observing, so how that reaction proceeds, so that is dependent on order of reaction. What kind of summation that is giving you, and you are predicting that how much number of molecules are involved into it. So if you are dealing with order of reaction, it is the sum of the exponents of the concentration. म्हणजे जे रेट लॉचं इक्वेशन आहे, ओके, सम ऑफ द एक्सपोनंट्स ऑफ द कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन टर्म, that is your x and y. You are using x of A and y of B. So the summation of x and y will give you order of reaction. ओके, की जे पण कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन टर्म तुम्ही पॉवरच्या केसमध्ये वापरताय, ओके, हियर रेट जे इक्वेशन आहे आपण जे बघितलं होतं, दॅट रेट इक्वेशन इज अगेन गिवन ओव्हर हियर, बरोबर. सो ऑब्वियसली इन द केस द रेट इक्वेशन, x is your concentration for A and y is the particular quantity of B. So order of reaction says that it is the sum of these two exponents that will give you order of reaction. So when x and y gives you 1, then it is the first order of reaction. If xy is equal to 2, it will give you second order of reaction. If x and y, sum of x and y is equal to 3, it will give you third order of reaction. But if your reaction is proceeding independent on the concentration, means what? Whatever concentration of A you are having, that will give you B. A कमी असेल तरी B तेवढंच मिळणार, ए जास्त असेल तरी कदाचित बी तुम्हाला तेवढंच मिळणार. सो द रिएक्शन इज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑन द कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन ऑफ युअर रिएक्टिंग स्पेसिस, and at that time you are referring it as the zero order of reaction. That is, your reaction is completely independent on the concentration term. लक्षात आलंय? This is called as order of reaction, and that is very much important because in the next parts जिथं आपण रिएक्शन कायनेटिक्स स्टडी करणार आहोत तिथं गरजेचं आहे की तुमची ऑर्डर ऑफ रिएक्शन काय आहे आणि त्याच्या पद्धतीने तुम्ही स्टडी करणार आहात. सो ऑब्वियसली इट इज द व्हॉट? सम ऑफ द पॉवर ऑफ कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन इन द रेट लॉ. whatever rate law you are having, it will be the sum of power of concentration. मग जर समजा माझ्याकडे 3 कंपोनंट आहेत, ओके. Now I am expecting answer from your side, okay. Now I am having reacting species, okay. A having power x, y having power y, okay. Instead of that, let me take into the simple manner, okay. If you are having A and you are using 1 power of A, you are having B, okay, and that is having 2. So what will be the rate of reaction, or sorry, what will be the order of reaction? Tell me.
3.
Order of reaction will be 3. Correct. Now suppose I am having component A, component B and component C. Now again here 0, 1 and 2. So though you are having ingredients, number of ingredients, but all these number of ingredients are responsible to give you sum of exponents, then you will have a respective order of reaction. So again here, what will be the order of reaction? Again it will be the 3 order of reaction. But now I am having A that gives me product B, okay. A giving me product B. Suppose from A I am getting B irrespective of concentration of A, then what will be the order of reaction?
0.
That will be the 0. Very good, correct. So the order of reaction is what? It is the sum of the power of concentration in the rate law. When that sum is 1, 2 or 3, you are referring them as first order, second order and third order respectively. But when the reaction proceeds independent on the concentration term, you are referring them as the 0 order, okay. Same way, the next is molecularity of reaction. Initially you was dependent on concentration and now you are dependent on number of atoms or molecules that will actually taking part into the reaction. And this is the difference between order of reaction and molecularity of reaction. What was the order of reaction? It was the sum of power concentration. And molecularity of reaction is what? It is the actual number of molecules that are being participating into the reaction. So if you are having only one molecule, then it is your unimolecular. If you are having two molecules, then it is your bimolecule. If you are having more than two molecular reactions, two molecules participating into that reaction, it is called as intermolecular रिॲक्शन. लक्षात येत आहे की जर एक मॉलिक्यूल फक्त रिॲक्ट होत असेल, परत लक्षात घ्या ऑर्डर ऑफ रिॲक्शन आणि मॉलिक्युलॅरिटी ऑफ रिॲक्शन मध्ये काय फरक आहे. इन केस ऑफ ऑर्डर ऑफ रिॲक्शन की ती जी कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन टर्मची पॉवर आहे, सम ऑफ पॉवर कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन टर्म्स गिव्स यू ऑर्डर ऑफ रिॲक्शन and number of molecules involved gives you molecularity of reaction. So obviously in the case of molecularity of reaction, either unimolecular, bimolecular or termolecular. When only one molecule is involved, unimolecular. When two molecules are involved, bimolecular. And whenever you are having three molecules that are involved into it, that will give you termolecular reaction. But one thing that everyone need to understand is whatever kind of termolecular or more than them, they are proceeding in the sequence of bimolecular steps only. म्हणजे जर समजा तुमच्याकडे ए बी सी डी असतील, ओके, चार रिॲक्टंट आहेत तुमच्याकडे ए बी सी डी, आणि त्याच्यातला प्रत्येकाचा एक एक मॉलिक्यूल त्याच्यामध्ये इन्व्हॉल्व होणार आहे का? तर नाही. कुठलेही दोन मॉलिक्यूल इन्व्हॉल्व होऊन तुम्हाला इंटरमिडिएट प्रोडक्ट देतील आणि तो इंटरमिडिएट प्रोडक्ट पुढे परत रिॲक्टंट सोबत काम करून तुम्हाला असं चेन वाईज रिॲक्शन तुम्हाला मिळत चालणार. त्याला म्हटलात तुम्ही बायमॉलिक्युलर गिव्हिंग यू termolecular. So whatever termolecular, more than two molecules involved into that reaction will proceed into the bimolecular step. So we will discuss about the difference between order of reaction and molecularity of reaction. The first difference is what? Order of reaction is sum of power concentration, whereas molecularity of reaction is actual number of reacting species. Okay, in case of order of reaction, you are going to determine this value by means of experimentation, whereas molecularity of reaction is a theoretical breakdown, or it is your theoretical concept. Okay, next difference is order of reaction can have fractional value, whereas molecularity of reaction is integral value. That is, order of reaction may have divided values, whereas molecularity of reaction will give you a single uniform value. In the case of next, here you can assume zero value. Okay, power to the zero will give you 1, so you can assume as the zero value. But in case of molecularity of reaction, you cannot assume it as the zero value. कोण सांगू शकेल याचं कारण? Yes, any guesses why you are not assuming molecularity of reaction as the zero value for that reactant? What that zero value indicates? जर समजा एखादा रिॲक्टंट आपण म्हटलं आणि त्या रिॲक्टंटचे 0 मोलेक्युल्स आपण वापरलेत किंवा 0 नंबर ऑफ मोल्स वापरलेत, तर काय त्याच्यावरून तुम्ही प्रेडिक्ट करताय? whether that reactant is actually involved in reaction or not?
Not, sir.
No.
Correct. So if you are having zero value of that reactant, then you can say that that molecule is not involved in your reaction. That's why if you are dealing with a molecule that is actually participating into reaction, then it will not have a zero value. Okay, it will have a value more than 1. So obviously in the case of order of reaction, you can assume zero value, but as far as molecularity of reaction is concerned, you cannot assume zero value. Okay, this is the difference between order of reaction and molecularity of reaction. And the last terminology is your specific rate constant. Okay, whatever rate constant K we have studied in the rate law, if your reaction is the single step reaction, then the proportionality constant for this single step reaction is called as specific rate constant. Okay, what I am saying, if your reaction is single step reaction, that is A directly giving you B. Okay, A giving you B is the single step reaction. So what will be the rate constant? That will be the specific rate constant by the rate law. Okay, so experimentally you can say that this specific rate constant K will give you linear slope with the rate equation for that single step reaction. की जर समजा A पासून B जर आम्हाला मिळवायचं असेल आणि आम्ही त्याचा ग्राफ प्लॉट केला, okay, then you will have linearity into it. Okay, that will correspond to the slope. Okay, that will give you specific rate constant. Okay, so this was about the introductory part as far as rate reactions are concerned. Okay.